Okay, so there's this channel, a channel out there that's been newly formed called Menmaxed, and it's a bunch of YouTubers that do like, I'm not sure, like they talk about swords or about weaponry, and they perform stunts. They shoot their bow and arrow and do acrobatic feats, which are quite impressive. And they decided to have a small Kickstarter, a GoFundMe. What if we have, they all decided they got a big collective audience. Maybe they can ask the audience for help to get them all together into one room to record the role-playing sessions, play D&D together. And they pitched the idea, and they got, instead of the $20,000 they asked for, they get 100,000 paid upfront to organize this. And
Quite successful.
yeah, very successful. And and a big drama is going around because another YouTuber was quite disgruntled by the quality of the show, and he made a very heartfelt YouTube video about the quality itself being under expectations. Let's frame it like that. So I wrote a few of those down, and I would like to share this talking point with the other people here, since hey, okay, we got new people interested in role playing. They're using D&D because it's the most popular platform. They're setting up their own stage. They got the set going. They got cameras going. They're using the tools at their disposal, and they got funding up front. Surely nothing could possibly go wrong here, right? Everyone signed up for this. Things did go wrong. We got an ice storm in Texas, or is it a snowstorm? I'm not sure the intensity of this, but Texas doesn't have snow, so all their plans of doing stunts outside or recording like live action recordings as part of the bits just went out of the window. And a bunch of criticisms. So the promises were like playing themselves as D&D characters, building a set, a cool video setup, cool angles, make character art and minis, and maybe more seasons, which with the funding, you would expect that. And the guy that pushed back insinuated he knows information of one of the min-maxers using charity stream donations for their vacation.
Well, I'm unfamiliar with literally all of this, so
Yeah,
I don't have much to say. I haven't seen any of the videos. I haven't watched the game.
You're not clued in. Bacon, look, this is the internet. If you're not talking about drama, you're not gonna make it, kiddo.
I fully intend to watch the game session, the min-max game session, and look at it from a role play perspective. So I will do that. I watched the critique video from the I think his name is Duke, and he's from One Shot Questers or something.
Yeah, that is correct. One Shot Questers.
Not me.
No,
not Uncle Duke.
Not Uncle Duke. No, it's a different Duke.
No.
And
some other Duke with YouTube.
I think your beard looks much nicer, Uncle Duke. At any rate, he was quite upset and really quite invested in it, and it made me wonder if he had, maybe he had financially contributed to this, and he had a lot, of his own, a lot of excitement for the project, and felt let down by the quality of the outcome. And I watched parts, though not all, of their response video to this YouTuber, just saying, look, you could have, if you had concerns, we could have talked about this. This could have been handled, as a private conversation maybe, and we're interested in improving things. We're new at this, and that sounded fairly reasonable to me. But it's a serious allegation. If you take in money, especially what he was saying, a charity stream. So that's it's supposed to be going to a non-profit, a charity. So that's different than just soliciting money to make a production. if you're soliciting money to make a production, then how that money gets spent for the production. I think this group has been more or less transparent. Like they've said, well, this is what we spent on this, and this is what we spent on the art, and this is what we spent on this. He had some quibbles as to the individual decisions that were made, which he was very upset about. But when I listened to it as someone who's not read into the whole situation, I thought, well, that doesn't seem like you're approaching every decision with the least charitable interpretation possible. And I'm like, that's probably not a reasonable way of providing feedback. And I do think that there was some that looked at
a way to get views.
I mean, he's got a ton of views on that. And,
right.
And I was a little surprised about that, Uncle Duke, because that channel has got like 900,000 subscribers or some nonsense. Like it's huge channel. And I'm like, why are you doing this? This seems very, and to him, it was like it's a big expose of mismanagement. And he was quite emotional about the abuse of what he saw as the hobby or hobbyists, that this is essentially accusing them of being grifters. I don't know if that's reason. That's it's a very uncharitable way of looking at the facts. I mean, if it comes out that they were guilty of defrauding people that thought they were giving to charity, I think that actually is a crime. And if it's not a crime, it ought to be a crime.
No, it's definitely a crime.
So you're making a criminal allegation here. That's a fairly weighty thing to do.
What catches me off guard with this story is he's holding this information about some, like he's alleging it, right? He is insinuating it. He's talking around it because obviously he doesn't want to get into legal trouble, telling people, oh, you're fraud. Instead, it's like, it's very suspicious that right after this charity stream, like I didn't see any receipts about where the money went, and you went on this super expensive vacation. Those were the kinds of allegations. And I'm thinking, why are you saying if you don't produce a good D&D show, I'm going public with this?
Yeah, that was strange too. Like what he wants for remediation, to me, was like, well, you just want content that you like more? I mean, so do I, but I'm not getting that anytime soon. And I would very much like to see this guy's game. Like I'm like, Duke, you don't have any actual plays at all, and you're criticizing their actual play.
Yes,
you have 900,000 plus subscribers and 0 live plays. Could you maybe point me towards one of your live plays if you're going to provide so much in the way of feedback to this group? And evidently there were things they could have done. They didn't balance the audio or whatever, the thing that I never do.
Yes,
they didn't do that. I'm going to try to do that with my conversation with Uncle Duke and his missus, lovely lady, by the way. I'm going to try to up my game a little bit, but I'm just doing this for free. Like I'm just a hobbyist that's having fun. Like I didn't take $100,000 for, so but there's maybe some criticism of like, hey, you guys were TikTok, what is it? Martial arts or his HEMA guys or whatever, swords play. And that was your stick. And yet you just played vanilla D&D. And so those of us that wanted to see you doing your cool sword play, we feel like we're not really getting what we were hoping to get. But still, that's a far cry from, and this is a criminal referral unless you the game version 2. Like what?
If you have evidence of fraud, you should be going to the authorities, not making videos.
Right. That's right.
And if you want, you could make the video itself like, okay, I'm really upset about the D&D thing, but this fraudulating behavior, I don't have enough evidence to prove anything, but here's what I do have. And you just put that information in its own video, if that's what you want. If you want like public scrutiny, right? You got your 900,000 subscriber channel. if you think you got something here that would get them into hot water, like if you can prove it directly, you can
I'll be
open up the
honest.
conversation.
I watched that video as far as him tearing up because he was upset for the community.
That's 2 minutes in.
And my thought was, go seek help.
Yes.
'cause
Yeah.
that is not something you should be this upset about.
I got the impression that this was in the vein of CoffeeZilla. I don't know if you know who CoffeeZilla is. He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
I love coffee. Yeah.
YouTuber.
It's great.
And he's very good at these takedown videos. And this was a video that was essentially like, we're going to do it. I'm going to do a takedown. I'm not going to be Mr. Nice Guy anymore. But as I listened to his evidence, I'm like, well, you're just quibbling over they bought that camera instead of a different camera. That's not the same as a rug pull. You're claiming a rug pull. They're saying they have $47,000 left over. That's not the same as we blew it all on a fast pony in Vegas and like it was done. That's not the same thing, my man. So I was like, look, I understand that you're disappointed. I'm going to watch their game and I'll probably be disappointed too for different reasons, but it's not the same. A criminal referral. Anyway, that's the latest scandal.
We have to
Does the
talk
world
about
really
it.
need more YouTube drama? Really? Don't we have enough?
Man.
Look, man,
Wait,
this is why it's my show. I know what gets the big bucks.
Crazy.
But so I have a tie into that point, and I'm sorry, I'm stretching your times a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Because my thought is, okay, so you expected 20,000. That's gonna be enough to help people go from all over the world, meet in one location, and do that shoot like over a week. I think they took 3 days. With their busy schedules, they got big channels. Like spending a day without recording content might make them lose money, like serious money. So they have to justify a lot of things. Like there's a lot of work going into this. Like time is money. We gotta make sure we got something useful for our fans that watch us every day, that pay our bills. So let's not waste it at this Texan ice storm, snowing everything down. Okay, I can absolutely forgive that for happening. It's not your fault. Like you know, sometimes you wake up and the world's going under for a weekend, and you just have to live with it. And I expect the response is, okay, we're gonna take a loss on this and organize another weekend where we record sections of our role-playing games, like the best moments that we really liked, and choreograph it out to have that live action scenes element that they promised, that you guys want to see us play our characters, but also do the stunts that we do in the game. Because that was part of the appeal. So that would be one way I see they can remedy this to, okay, you take a loss, maybe a bit of a pay cut, but you please the fans and and it's good for your the public relations, I would say. The other thing, what really what I'm scrutinizing is you offered 20,000, and they did say they were surprised that it suddenly ballooned to 100,000, so they stopped. They stopped premature, like early, so they don't have to do weird stretch goals because suddenly they have 300,000 or something at the doorsteps, which I can understand. Like I don't buy it, but if they want to go with that, I can understand it. But a thing I think would be cool to do is what if you have all the character sheets that you're playing for that session 1, like all the characters at level 1 or whatever level they're starting at, with the hand notes from the players. You can get the 5e character sheet. It's printed on nice paper. The backside is the character art, beautifully illustrated, which they are getting done too, by the way. And have them sign it with an autograph. And if you want, you can toss in like a couple of dice of like the event dice and have that be a package as a bundle to send out to the people who have donated over $100. That is a way you can package. Oh, you're not just playing a game that people can watch on YouTube, but now it's a product, it's an event, it's not too expensive. It like signing paper doesn't cost you too much. You can get it done from home if you really need to, but it would be good for the event. Like, okay, let's take an afternoon to sign 300 pages or something for the big spenders for all the character sheets. And you give value back into the community and not just a D&D show that people pay for before it even exists. Did my internet crash? Yes.
I didn't know it was going to be $100,000. Hey, he's back.
I'm back.
All right.
All right.
But we're not streaming anymore. Oh, there he's back streaming. Okay, good. So
good.
I was just going to say that, Z, I think there's lots of things they'll learn from this. And when I watched their response video, they were very tactful in their response. I actually thought that their response addressed a lot of the issues that were raised and said, look, we're learning this and we appreciate your patience and we're trying to do this. And I just don't think if they had known, for example, that they were going to get $100,000 to do a D&D game, they probably would have said, well, look, we only need 30,000. Stop it at 30,000. That's it. We're not trying to just cash in on this. We're just raising money to do the production and that's it. But I don't know. I'm willing to give people the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. And
Me too.
it's one of these tempests in a teapot. To me, like Uncle Duke said, the emotional investment this YouTuber had in this production seemed strange. Like it's like this is like it's like the Star Wars guy crying over the trailer. You know what I'm talking about? It's that kind of way over the top emotional response for just a piece of content like that. I guess I just don't relate. As a hobbyist, I just don't get into it that much.
I'm an old guy. I can't imagine sending somebody money to make a YouTube video.
No.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
It's the thing. It's like, okay, they got an audience. They want to support them because I assume it's the parasocial relationship, but it's like giving money to George Clooney to show up in your city, and and you get a chance to see him in an auditorium or something like that. That's what I imagine. But you don't see them live. You see them in a show.
I've been told that people are angry for us giving the handbook away for free or selling it for $0 essentially. I mean, I'm willing to go out on that limb and say that there are just a lot of, magnanimous people out there who want to support you monetarily for a job well done, even if it's just a kind of a projected job well done.
That's right.
So I'm very happy to allow for that. And I don't really have much to say on the situation. I'm entirely unfamiliar with it. But, for all we know, I mean, listening to what you guys have said, it sounds like they're kind of new to the role-playing game hobby. Maybe they've done it before in the past. Maybe they're familiar with it with their own personal groups, but it doesn't seem that way based on what you said. It's like, hey, we all know each other. We all do things with each other in this one area. Let's play Dungeons and Dragons. That's a thing that people like. And if the fan outcry was to the point where they were able to pull in $100,000, clearly there's demand for it.
Clearly.
And, maybe if this isn't something they've done before, then it's going to appear as though they are novices at this particular thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And the reaction should be, hey, welcome in. Welcome in. You'll get better as you go. Let's actually let's tell them what they're doing right. Let's observe them in a way that's positive instead of, and I don't know, maybe people are going to get on me for maybe being a little bit too permissive, but I don't see the value in shouting them down. I just don't see the value.
Either. And I don't think I just don't think it's reasonable to immediately go to, this is a CoffeeZilla style grifting, fraudulent. That's not That's not my impression. Again, I'm open to be convinced if there's evidence, but if you're not willing to give the evidence to the authorities so that we can get to the bottom of the so-called wrongdoing, then we should probably be careful about bandying about terms like, oh well, you know, I've got the receipts here that I'm going to just sit on unless you do this. I'm like, what?
That's a crime in and of itself. It's called blackmail.
It's highly
it feels like
irresponsible
extortion.
too.
It just feels extortion to me.
It's like,
I don't know.
It just struck me as clickbait.
Tiger.
Right? It's just drama for the sake of clicks, and I have no time for that.
You know, I thought maybe it's clickbait, but there are too many tiers. You know, there's too much lip quivering happening for it to be like this callous. I'd like to imagine I can tell the difference between crocodile tears and real ones, and I'm not, since I don't watch his content, I'm not going to make a judgment call on that. It's sadly I got cut out about my point of what I think min-maxers could do to make it worthwhile or to give more value for receiving so much money. I'm not sure when I cut out.
You were just talking about getting a nice printed artwork on a character sheet.
Yes.
And you can have that, or, you know, a pre-gen or something that you could send back out as a thank you.
Yes.
Which I think it makes sense. I mean, you'll hopefully have the information that for those that didn't do it anonymously, you could conceivably send out a thank you letter or something with a little trinket. Maybe that would work.
And like the autograph on a character sheet itself would be worthwhile for a lot of fans.
Yeah, these are super fans. So yeah, and like Bacon said, you know, there are people that are very generous. We've got Australians, not to mention any names. That
so many Australians.
Very, very generous with many content creators, and they spread the love around for just, hey, I like to show that I'm enjoying what you're doing, and here's you know, a coffee on me or whatever it is. I think that's very nice. I don't, because of how I come at this hobby, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm not interested in taking your money. I just, you know, your eyeballs for a few minutes, that's all I need. And then spread the word because it's a cult. No,
it is not.
He doesn't need the
that's
money.
Going to be in the handbook volume 2. That's where we're going to tell you where to get your robes and
that's right,
you know, your ritual implements and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
All the subclasses you need to really role play.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's certainly a big topic. Like everyone's talking about this, and I'm going to take a look at the game. I'll give it my spin, but
let's see. We will see if they role played and how they did for first timers, and I expect they look around. What do the biggest YouTubers do, and just copy that. Is my expectations. But if they can give it their personal spin, I will be pleasantly surprised. It's like, oh, that's great. Like you do the thing, but you do it your style.
I'm just hoping for prawns. I just want to see.
Yes, that's right. How much food is in this game, and what about doors? So food and doors is what I'm looking for.
Absolutely. All right, guys. This was Inside Roleplay. Now, if you have anything going on in your lives that you want to share with the internet, now is the time to share.
We're gonna do a D&D live play. If you want, we're gonna raise $100,000. No, we're not.
Real life 4D at a real table.
Yeah, 4D at a real table. That'll be so awesome when we finally pull it off. It's gonna be great.
I can't pay to get flown in to Texas from Germany. Guys, help out.
But we gotta chip in.
So actually, we are doing a GoFundMe to get Zonalar to Texas. Okay.
There we go. Through your private chartered plane. There we go. But in all seriousness, I've got a great interview, about 50-minute interview with Uncle Duke and his wife. Look for that. It's coming out soon. I think it's going to be very enlightening and informative for anyone who's curious about the style and how it is it's applied to a real group of friends, and how does that work. So I think that'll be good. Watch for that. That's coming up, and then then we'll have lots of other stuff after that. I think Bacon and I, we have something we're working on together.
We
with
sure do.
Special guest, if you want to. I don't know if it's too early for that, but that's coming up here in about a week. So yeah,
yep,
should be good. Fingers crossed.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. I will try to do like a couple more to get some traction going for the show. And after that, I'll find out if I even have any topics that are interesting or if it's just beating a dead horse at that point. But we'll find out. So thank you guys for watching and see you around.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, Z.
Thanks for watching.